It hasn't even been a full year since we got a second-gen AirPods Pros, and we already have a ton of details as to what Apple's planning on doing next. And the future is looking way more exciting than I was initially expecting. And you know what else is exciting? Me currently being in Paris as you're watching this video, attending the launch of the new Honor 90. They sponsored this video, and their new N-Series Honor 90 is both well-specced and well-priced, featuring a 1/1.4-inch 200-megapixel main camera, a 50-megapixel selfie camera, a 5000 mAh battery, a 120Hz 1600 nit HDR10 Plus display, 66-watt supercharging, and a Snapdragon 7 Gen 1 chip. The 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage model comes in at £449, while the 12GB of RAM, 512GB of storage comes in at $499. So yeah, super affordable for the specs. Check it out by using the link below. And now, back to the video. We've just had a ton of details in regards to what Apple's planning on doing next with the AirPods. But wait, what could Apple possibly add to the already impressive second-gen AirPods Pros to make them even better? Like, the sound quality is already great, the noise cancelling is also great, the battery life and the water resistance are both great, so what else could they possibly add to make them even better? Well, according to Mark Gurman's latest report, Apple is working on 4 major fields of improvements here. The first one being fitness features. Now, we've heard about this one before, Apple working on adding some fitness features to the AirPods so that they can have a second fitness product in addition to just the Apple Watch. And now we have a couple of extra details. So apparently Apple is doing some engineering work on adding sensors to the AirPods so that they can determine the body's temperature via the user's ear canal. So that's looking promising. Of course, it won't be easy to do as the AirPods are so tiny and almost all of that space inside is already fully used. So they will need to do some heavy redesigning or maybe even make the AirPods a bit bigger to allow for such a temperature sensor. But if they can pull this off, it would be something truly useful to have. But wait, if you already have the Apple Watch Series 8 or newer, or an Apple Watch Ultra, both of which already have temperature sensors, why would you even need these next-gen AirPods? Well, measuring temperature from your ear's canal is way more accurate than measuring it through your skin. Not only that, but since you have 2 AirPods, you will be getting measurements from 2 different points, and then you could do an average to get an even more accurate reading. Whereas with the Apple Watch, the one measurement that it gives you is, the only one you have. Plus, with the Apple Watch, the only use case right now for its temperature sensor is for fertility tracking. So if you're a man, you don't get any functionality aside from it telling you how much your temperature varies from the baseline. But it doesn't tell you your actual temperature. With these new AirPods, Apple will apparently be able to expand its temperature readings to tell you if you have a cold or any other illness. And I guess another advantage will be that if you don't have an Apple Watch, you'll still be able to get some health features from just your AirPods. Okay, the second field of improvements that Apple's working on is apparently close integration with the Vision Pro. But okay, what does this mean? What more could they do than just, pair with the Vision Pro? Well, Mark Gurman is saying that Apple does have a special pairing algorithm specifically made for the second-gen AirPods Pros that could reduce latency or even add some exclusive features. It is quite interesting to see that only the second-gen AirPods Pros would be supporting this. Also, a January report from The Information claimed the very same thing, that Apple was working on a low latency connection with the second-gen AirPods Pros, which was only possible thanks to that H2 chip inside. And pretty much every single thing that they've said in that report ended up being true when Apple unveiled the Vision Pro to the public, so there is a very good chance that this is also true. Of course, this doesn't mean that you won't be able to connect any other AirPods or any other Bluetooth headphones. I would actually be surprised if that is the case, but it does mean that if you connect any AirPods that have the H2 chip inside, so far just the second-gen AirPods Pros, the latency would be noticeably reduced. Now, Apple could implement a system where, with older AirPods, the amount of latency is automatically detected, and video playback is adjusted accordingly, so that when you're watching a movie, you'll still hear the audio at the same time as the video. Apple is already doing this, by the way, today with the HomePod. Of course, this won't work with apps that require you to interact with them, but anything that plays video should be able to automatically adjust. Okay, so the next field that Apple's working on is apparently the hearing aid market. According to Mark Gurman, Apple wants to enter this hearing aid market, a market worth $10 billion. And that has become very stagnant for many years. Apple is said to be working on a new hearing test feature that will play different tones and sounds to allow the AirPods to determine how well a person can hear. Interesting enough, this actually sounds very similar to Samsung's Adopt Sound feature that also uses different tones and volumes to test what a person's hearing can or cannot perceive. However, Samsung's feature was made to make music and audio more suitable to the individual's hearing, rather than it being used as a hearing aid. Apple is planning on using this feature to enter the hearing aid market. Now, the AirPods do already have some hearing aid functionality. They have features such as Conversation Boost, which can boost the volume of your AirPods when someone's talking to you, and you're in transparency mode. You can find this toggle in the accessibility settings. There's also the Live Listen feature that allows you to place your iPhone anywhere and stream the audio from the iPhone's mic straight into your AirPods. Perfect for people with hearing difficulties or undercover spies. However, even though the AirPods do already have these features, Apple does not have any regulatory approval to use them as actual hearing aids. But last year, the US Food and Drug Administration did ease hearing aid purchase rules, allowing for over-the-counter sales without an exam or prescription. So this should make it far easier for Apple to market their AirPods as hearing aids without needing all the usual regulatory approval. Not only that, but there's already an app called Mimi that already does the same thing. It allows you to take a hearing test and then see how you compare against your previous readings, so that you know if you got better or worse. And according to Mark Gurman, Apple even had a meeting with Mimi's developers a few years ago about them integrating the feature into a future version of the AirPods, as doing so will likely kill Mimi as an app entirely. Still, a proper hearing aid function is likely to be coming through a software update to more than just the second-gen AirPods Pros. We may see this as early as this year, of course, depending on how development goes. Okay, the next thing that Apple's working on is switching the AirPods to USB Type-C. Not really much of a surprise, as the iPhone is also switching to USB-C this year, so it also makes sense for them to update their accessories to USB-C too. Mark Gurman is saying that Apple will be releasing a USB Type-C case for the AirPods Pros this year, and nothing else. This is pretty much what I believe to be the case as well. The second-gen AirPods Pros are still quite new, so releasing a separate case will allow users to just buy that and upgrade to USB Type-C. Of course, that any new purchases will automatically come with the new USB-C case. And when it comes to all the other AirPods, the standard and the Maxes, no USB-C will be coming until both models get updates, which should be fairly soon, as the standard AirPods haven't been updated since 2021, and the Maxes haven't been updated since 2020. So big upgrades to both should be coming soon. And of course that when they do get updated, they would both come with a new H2 chip, which would enable a lot of extra features, from improved audio to better transparency and noise cancelling on the AirPods Maxes, to things such as that reduced latency for the Apple Vision Pro. So I guess the only odd ones would be the second-gen AirPods, which Apple is still selling to this very day. And these are super old. They came out in 2019, so 4 years ago, and they have that old 2016 AirPods style design. They don't have wireless charging or MagSafe, and the sound quality just isn't very good either. There is a wireless charging case for $80, but at $210 combined, you might as well just get the third-gen AirPods. So yeah, for this price, I just cannot recommend them, especially when you have far better options from other manufacturers, like the Nothing Gear 2s, which here in the UK are even less expensive than the regular AirPods and sound so many times better, whilst giving you features such as active noise cancelling, transparency, and so many more. You can use the link below if you want to get yourself a pair. I highly recommend them. And of course, that aside from just these features coming to the AirPods, there are some others which are even more exciting. For example, there's a new patent that shows an AirPods case with a built-in screen. But that's a topic for another video. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see that video when it comes out. Loads of things to cover there. I'm Daniel, this is Enough Tech, and I'll see you guys in the next one. It's Enough Tech, signing out. Cheers.